G-Force and a Gary Kistern event brought to you by Coach. We'd like to first of all welcome Mr. Gary Kistern to the table. Gary's going to be handing out your caps to each and every one of you. If Gopal would please come forward and help Gary with this, please. There we go. So, front row. Let's go.
Can we start from here?
Yes, absolutely. Front row. The next. You guys come this way. Okay, come. Okay, go through there. Next up.
Next one, please.
Go.
Oh,
Go through.
sorry.
Okay. Okay, next row. Get ready to come, please. Okay. Go through.
Sorry. Next row.
Go.
Okay.
Next row, please. Quick.
Go.
Sure.
Here we go.
Again.
Sanjay, come quickly, Sanjay. Sit down. Next row. Aaron.
Yeah, I'll speak to you. Yes. Sorry. You guys in the computer, you were
Quick, guys.
Don't tell me you got it back. You'll be in trouble.
Emma.
Teach you what to use a proper computer.
That's all the coaches as well.
For backup best.
Coaches, please.
Sir, are you? Is that it? Mr. G?
Yeah, ask anyone left here, the coaches.
Any coaches that haven't received their caps, please. You're going to get in there, get a cap.
And want to call it? Sorry, come in.
Yeah, we'll
Come in.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Yeah, sure. Yes, please. Got
Come, son, come. Quick. Mr. Jakob. Yes, of course.
Baku, get your cap.
Same head this time.
Okay. Three, your first cap in Dubai.
Why don't you also? We see enough of each other. You don't have to.
So much. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to introduce Gary and then have a round of applause for Mr. Gary Kistern, please.
Okay, so let's get going. We've got 2 days. We're all here for 2 days. Is that correct? Good. Okay, so what we're going to do on this flip chart here is I'm going to write down everything you want to do in the next 2 days. Okay, what do you want? Any question that you might have of me or our coaches, anything that you want to learn about, anything. So for the next 10 minutes, I want you to tell me what you want to learn in the next 2 days. And I'm going to write it down and hopefully we will cover it. Who's going to start? What do you want to learn? Yeah.
Simple thing, cricket.
Want to learn cricket? Okay. Well, hopefully we'll be doing that. Okay. Yes.
Playing spin.
Okay, good. Playing spin. Good. So we'll cover some stuff on that, and then it's important for you to make sure you kind of asking those questions, because we're going to go into the nets and you're going to be facing spin and you need to be asking questions. So don't leave here having not kind of learned something about spin bowling. Okay, or how to play it. Yeah. Okay, bowl. So should I say, what is the right spot? Good length. Okay, so I'm going to say how to bowl line and length. How to bowl line and length consistently. Do you know the answer? How to bowl line and length consistently. Okay, we'll go into that. Yes, come back.
Learning to be the reverse sweep.
Reverse sweep. Why do you want to learn to play the reverse sweep?
It's T20 stuff. Spin bowler bowling at good areas where it's good to play.
How old are you now?
15.
So every 15-year-old needs to learn how to reverse sweep. Hey? And you know what? There are 30-year-olds who don't know how to reverse sweep. It's become one of the most important shots in cricket. You know why? Because no one sets a field for reverse sweep. So if you can reverse sweep well, there's always runs. So well done. That's a very important point, and it's a very easy thing to learn. So we will do some drill work on learning how to reverse sweep. Not a difficult thing to learn at all. Okay. Yes.
Slip catching.
Slip catching. Okay. You want to stand in the slips? You don't have to run around on the field. Okay, so we will learn about, that's fine, we will do some stuff on that. Just basic techniques of what's the most important thing about slip catching. It's not easy to take a slip catch. You want to know that we can take most of them. The most important thing about slip catching, as it is with batting, you want to get yourselves into kind of a good position first before the ball is bowled. Okay. What else? Yes.
How soon to know whether the bowler is going to bowl a short pitch or full length ball?
Okay. So what?
Basically,
Picking up length.
Yeah.
online.
Okay. Okay, that's also a very interesting point. So there's thinking on that in terms of how best to coach young kids in terms of picking up line and length. Good. Yes.
How to handle the pressure situation?
Pressure. Oh my word, what a big one, eh? Okay, so this here is the most important thing we're going to talk about in the next 2 days. And we don't train pressure, do we? You ever train under pressure? You ever go into a net and it's the same as the middle when keepers, it's terrible as a batsman, hey? You know, you kind of want to get runs, and it's so difficult getting runs some of the time. You know, I'm nervous and anxious. But we never train it. We never train how to handle pressure. Never. The only way I learned to handle pressure was through experience. Playing time, year after year after year, and eventually I started learning what to do in the pressure situation. But why don't we train under pressure? Practice under pressure. How many times do you get out in the net? Only once or twice. Okay, we all get into a net, we get out, don't we? You're not allowed to get out once or twice in a match. You've got one chance. But in the net we say, well, we get out 5 times, it's alright. In a match you're only allowed one chance. So why don't we train ourselves not to get out once in the net? Put ourselves under pressure. Okay, what else?
How to bowl swing?
How to bowl swing. Okay. Just need to learn how to scratch the ball. Then it swings consistently. Only joke. Okay, what else? Yes? Good. Bowl death. Okay. Okay, how to bowl at the death. Isn't that something that is missing in the game today? Who's the best death bowler in the world today? Who? Stain, Malinga. So you look at their records. Malinga's probably the most successful kind of death bowler or T20 bowler in the world. It's probably his action helps hugely that he can do that. So not everyone's going to have an action like him. You can't have an action like him because you wouldn't be walking. You'd be injured because it is such a stressful action on his body. So how can we learn to bowl death without that action? Okay, and what do we need to do? Is it just Yorkers? Or do we need
Changing the pace.
You need to change it up? Okay. Yes? Batting at the death. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so there's very specific stuff that we can learn about batting at the death. Okay, we want to hit both sides of the field. What position do we need to get ourselves into in terms of our setup before the ball is bowled to help us hit both sides of the field? Where's the bowler looking to bowl to us? How can I exploit the bowler? Okay, I see guys make the same mistakes trying to slog at the death. Doing the same thing instead of thinking about something different, thinking out the box to be slightly different, to exploit the bowler. Yes? Okay, game plan. Okay, so you will see in your booklets, but we're not going to go through them now. I've got a lot of stuff on game plans here because I reckon even as an 11-year-old or 12-year-old, if you don't have a game plan, how can you go score hundreds? Okay, the only way you can consistently score big runs is by having a game plan. Okay, if I asked every one of you in this room today, what are you good at? What are your strengths in your game as a batsman? Okay? Could we answer it? Okay, let's throw that out there. What are we? Tell me what your strengths are. Tell me what you're good at. As a batsman, those are batsmen here, mainly batsmen. What are you good at? What are your strengths? Anyone? Huh?
The leg side.
Play leg side. Good. Okay. Anything else? What are your strengths? What is your favorite shot?
The short over mid wicket for 6, hitting long range shots.
Short over mid wicket. So it's a short ball.
Yeah.
Short ball. Good. Okay. So that's something you like to play. So you play that shot well. Okay. So that is one of your strengths. And you've got to remember, for every strength that you have, there's a weakness. Okay. That's what a game plan is. What are the other strengths? What is your strength? Square cut. Good. My strength was a square cut as well. As a left-hander, I used to love to cut the ball, and I used to love to cover drive the ball. Okay, what else? Other strengths? What do you think you're good at?
Cover drive.
Cover drive. Good. Anything else? No one knows what they're good at, what their strengths are. Yes? Nicking the ball. Oh, okay. That was one of my strengths, actually. flicking the ball, okay.
Straight drive. Straight drive.
Straight drive, good. Straight drive. I always loved the straight drive. For me, the straight drive is probably the most important shot in cricket, apart from the four defence. Why is the four defence the most important? If you don't get out, eh? If you can't play a four defence, you can't play cricket as a batsman. Because the bowler's trying to bowl where? Where's the bowler trying to bowl?
Wickets.
Trying to bowl line and length on off stump, isn't he? And what shot do you have to play to that delivery? Four defence, don't you? So he's trying to bowl 80% of his deliveries line and length because he knows it's a difficult ball to face. And if you can't play four defence, you're in trouble. But for me, the best attacking front foot shot to play is a straight drive. Because then it suggests to me, technically wise, that your balance is very good, that you're able to hit the ball both sides of the wicket. Remember, let's think about a field setting. We have a mid-off, we have a cover, we have a cover point, we have maybe a gully, we have a slip, maybe two slips. That's 6 fielders. And on the leg side, we have a fine leg, we have a mid-wicket, and we have a mid-on. That's 3 fielders. I want to hit the ball to where the fielders are. I don't want to hit the ball to where the fielders are. So what I'm trying to do as a player, I'm trying to say, how can I get myself into a position where I can hit away from the fielders? And that's why straight drive is such an important shot, because there are no fielders. Because mid-off, if I'm a left-hander, mid-off stands there and mid-on stands there, and you've just got bowler to beat. And it's a safe shot because you play with a full-on vertical bat. So if the ball bounces, the vertical bat controls it. The moment the bat goes horizontal, if the ball bounces, that's where we get ourselves into trouble. Does that make sense? Makes sense. So that's why the pull shot and the cut shots are great shots to play, but we only play them when the ball's really short. Why do we play them when the ball's really short?
You have time to think.
Good answer. You've got time. So now you can play a cross-bat shot because you've got time, because the ball's down that way. You've got to move quickly because the quicker bowlers can nail you. But you've got time to play the cross-bat shot at less risk the shorter the ball is. As soon as it gets a little bit fuller, we want the bat to be straight. Make sense? Except if we're slogging. Of course, then we've got to do something different. We've got to play like a baseball swing or something like that. Okay, so we've spoken a little bit about strengths. Okay, so my strength was I played the cut shot really well. I played a good cover drive. Okay, why don't we talk about what our weaknesses are? What are we not good at? Okay, so I'll tell you what I wasn't good at. I wasn't good at a ball that was coming in nice and straight at me, just on a length. So often guys would bowl very straight at me and I struggled to kind of tuck the ball in here and get the ball for one. So when in professional cricket now you've got video analysis. So suddenly I lost the ability to be able to cut the ball because they didn't bowl wide to me anymore. They got everything in here. And I used to fall over a little bit, so it was always difficult for me to play the short. So that was a weakness of mine. The short ball, I wasn't the best player of the short ball, but I played international cricket for 11 years, so I worked it out. But it wasn't a strength of mine, playing the short ball. But I learned how to not get out. Okay, so let's hear some weaknesses. What are the things you don't think you're that good at? Yes. You're not that good at the cut shot. So, does that mean you don't play the cut shot? Yeah. So I wasn't good at the pull shot. So in my game plan, I didn't really play. How old are you now? So you can learn how to play the cut shot still. But at least you know that it's not a strength of yours. Yes. The flick's not a strength of yours, okay? Yes. The short ball is not a strength. Okay, so we've got to remember now, when you start facing bowlers that start to know your game, they're not going to pitch a ball up. They're going to bowl short. How do we play it? And if you're going to make it as a cricketer at any level, if the bowler knows that you can't play the short ball, he's going to bowl a lot of short ball. So we've got to work out a technique to deal with it. Okay. Yes? Struggle with Yorkers. We all do, I think. It's not a weakness. I think it's a very difficult delivery to face. But does it bowl you? Are you getting out from it? Yeah, okay. So there is a way that we can learn how to deal with that as well. Yes, at the back.
The ball swinging away from the ball.
Okay, good one. Ball swinging away. Okay, does it get you out a lot?
Yes.
Okay. So let's remember that there's actually a way that you can deal with an outswinging delivery. Okay. It's not a strength of yours, you're getting out to it. So we've got to work out a way. Maybe I can't score off that delivery, but I can not get out to it. Okay, so just remember in the next 2 days, if that's something that we've got the coaches here, they'll give you some good thinking on how to deal with an outswinging ball. Especially if you bat up front with a new ball. Okay. Yes?
Playing balls with a straight bat.
So is your bat always at an angle?
Yeah.
Okay, so you get out a lot too?
Yeah, mostly.
Okay, so that's probably just a kind of a technical issue. Again, we can go into the nets and we can have a look and just see if there's something in your grip or your pickup or something that's causing you to come at an angle. Probably sort it out very quickly because you're nice and young. Okay. Yes?
Bowling on the legs.
When they bowl on your legs. Okay. If a guy says he struggles on his legs, what comes to your mind? What's going on there? Okay, balance, isn't it? So generally if you're kind of battling there, you fall across the crease a little bit. I wasn't very strong on my legs because I fell across the crease because I was always trying to hit the ball kind of extra cover middle area as a left-hander. Okay, again, it's something that you can sort out. It doesn't mean you become a great leg side player. I never was a good leg side player. But it means that you can not get out to it.
When the ball comes
In swinging delivery. Okay. Good. So there's, again, maybe falling across the crease a little bit so your pad is kind of getting in line with the ball. Probably balanced. You can talk into that space. Yes? Huh? Leg stump deliveries. Short balls on the leg stump. Okay? Good. Okay. I think we've covered enough there. So the reason why I asked you what your strengths and what your weaknesses are, because if you understand it, then the game plan kicks in. Okay, but I reckon every one of you, even as 10, 11-year-olds, you should have a game plan. You should know what you're good at, what you're not good at, what your favorite shots are, where I need to be careful. Why do we need to have a game plan? Anyone know why we would say to you, it's always good when you go out to bat to have a game plan? Why would we say that?
So that you know what you're doing.
Okay. Gives you focus. Good. Any other answers? Yes?
Keep it balanced.
Keep what balance? Okay. Okay.
Judgment of the shot, because if sometimes you have a good shot And somebody bowls a ball, you don't have to play that shot. You just like the shot and you just play it.
Okay, good. So it's a judgment of the shot that you want to play. That's a good question, good answer. Okay, why do we have a game plan? You know, for me, it's one simple answer. I want to be consistent as a player. So I know that it doesn't matter who's bowling to me, I will have a game plan against that bowler. Against an outswing bowler, I've got a game plan. And my game plan against an outswing bowler would be, if the ball is swinging, my margin of where I'm going to hit the ball is that much smaller, because I don't want to be chasing the ball out ahead of me when the ball's swinging. I'm going to play the ball really late. Okay, and I'm going to leave a lot of balls if it's swinging. The one thing I always know about an outswing bowler is that often, because they see the ball swing, they get excited bowlers. You know what happens? He's going to give me some width. And as soon as there's a bit of width, I'm going to swing hard as I can, only when there's width. So really tight in a straighter line and feed off the width. That would be my game plan against an outswing bowler. What would my game plan be against an off spinner as a left-hand batsman? I've got to see how much the ball is turning, first of all. The wicket will play a huge role. I want to see what the field is, because the big thing about playing spin is manipulating the field. I want to find the holes on the field that I can hit into those areas. So I have a game plan against every single bowler, every single type of condition, on different wickets. Is the wicket bouncing? Is it not bouncing? Your game plan can extend. But when you're with the kind of a 10 and 11-year-old, what are my favorite shots? Okay, what is the shot I'm good at? What is the shot I'm not good at? And even the 10 and 11-year-olds here can understand what that is. What happens to us in batting especially, and in bowling, is where we come unstuck, is we often go out of our game plan, because we don't understand what it is. And we play a shot, and we walk off the field, and we kind of throw our gloves on the ground, and jeepers, I shouldn't have played that shot. How many times do we say that? I shouldn't have played that shot. Well, if you stick to your game plan, you won't play the shot. Okay, so a game plan is a very important thing. When I was a 10-year-old, the only thing my dad ever said to me, we had cricket in our family, as I'm sure many of you, if you guys love your cricket, we had cricket in our family. The only thing my dad said to me as a 10-year-old, he said to me, if you want to be worth your salt as a batsman, you've got to learn how to score hundreds. And he was telling me that at 10. And he says, you better work out a way. But you're only going to make it in the game if you can score hundreds. I scored my first 100 as a 13-year-old, which was quite late. And I began to start working out how to score hundreds consistently. And consistently is once every 7 or 8 innings. That's consistently scoring hundreds. That's what the best in the world do. Okay, Sachin Tendulkar scored an international 100, one every 6 innings. That's another level. Okay, but the rest of us, kind of 1 in every 8 innings as we're scoring 100. Okay. And it's the same on the bowling side. If you want to be worth your salt as a bowler, you've got to learn how to take 5 wickets. Especially in the longer games. In the shorter games, maybe it's 3 wickets or 4 wickets consistently, but you've got to learn how to take wickets. Spinner, you've got to learn how to spin the ball. If you're a swing bowler, you've got to learn how to swing the ball. If you're a fast bowler, you've got to learn how to bowl fast. Okay, so you get into the performance, and a game plan certainly helps a lot there. Okay, so I want to ask you 2 questions again. The first one is, what do you think is your strength mentally in the game? What do you think your strength is mentally? Okay, so to help you with that, I'll give you my answer. I think my strength mentally was that I was a fighter. So I played my best cricket when the team was in trouble. and I might walk to the crease at 21 for 3 or something like that, but I was the type of guy that could really fight hard. I wasn't a pretty player, I didn't have all the fancy shots, but I could fight. My weakness mentally was that I wasn't able to really take the game forward. So I wasn't good at when the coach said, we want you to go hit the ball and play aggressively. Now that wasn't my strength. Don't ask me to do that because that's not my strength. I can play a second role there in a partnership, but I'm not good at just going to hit the ball and take it. And if you ask me to fight and try to save a situation or get the team out of trouble, I was the guy that you could call on. What are your strengths mentally? Let's hear some stuff. Any thoughts? Yes?
Pressure situation.
You like the pressure situation? Good. What happens to you mentally? What happens when the pressure situation comes up? What do you feel like?
I just feel that I feel responsible for the team.
Responsible, good.
So I can perform better. I have motivation.
Okay. So you get like an extra motivation, you get a bit pumped up in those pressure situations, good. What else? Mentally, what are you good at mentally? How many of us, when we go out to bat, we feel nervous? Pretty much all of us, eh? We all feel nervous when we go out to bat, don't we? We all feel a bit anxious. Why? Why do we feel nervous and we feel anxious?
Because you don't want to lose all.
It's terrible when you go home that evening and your dad asks you how many runs you got and you said, oh, I got 3. Or I got 8. It's always nice to tell your parents and to tell your friends, no, I got 88. Or 90 or 36 or 45. That's what you want to... So cricket's a crazy game because we get all nervous and anxious because we're worried about how many runs we're going to score or how many wickets we're going to take. Don't we? So can we perform if we're nervous? But we've all put our hands up and said that we're nervous when we go to bat. So I was always nervous when I went to bat, but I could still perform. So we can, even though we're nervous and feel the pressure, you can still go perform if you've got a good game plan. Okay. You can still perform. Okay? So I think what we will do as well over the next 2 days is the kind of questions that you're going to ask the coaches is, you know, what do I do if I feel nervous? What do I do if I feel the pressure? How do I manage it? How do I handle pressure? Okay, and it's probably the most important thing in sport, and the most important thing in the sport that we play is the ability to handle the nervousness, to handle the anxiety, to handle the pressure situation. Because there's this demand on performance, isn't it? There's this demand that we have to score runs, or we have to take wickets, and it ain't going to happen all the time. You're not going to score runs and take wickets all the time. And you know what? You are going to drop a catch. And it's going to feel terrible that you drop the catch, but we are going to drop it. So we are going to make mistakes out on the field. And we need to know, can I get past the mistake? Can I move on and become a better player even though I've made the mistake? Okay. Good. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to try and cover as much as we can on this. All right, we're going to go down to the nets. All right, we're going to kind of start a net situation. What we will do is we will begin kind of executing, and we'll start doing some technical work, and then what we'll do is we'll break it up and have a conversation and chat about things, and then we'll go back into net and we'll chat about things further. All right, all the stuff that's on here, that's written in this, I'm not going to go through it formally. It's just for you really to have a look at and to help you. The only thing that I want to say to you, whether you're a bowler or a batsman or a fielder, the most important thing that the coaches are going to focus on, okay, we as the coaches focus on, is what position you're getting yourself into before the ball's bowled. Whether you're a bowler, what position are you getting yourself into before the ball's bowled? There's some fundamentals there that we have to really understand. And you're going to hear words like balance in your bowling, you're going to hear words like rhythm, you're going to hear words like alignment, okay? Those things are going to be very important, because where we go wrong is that before the ball is even bowled, we're not in a good position. In batting, you're going to hear words like balance, you're going to hear words like alignment, and we're going to look at your setup before the ball's bowled. Why? Because if we get into a bad position before the ball's bowled, we don't give ourselves a chance of hitting the ball all around the field. And ultimately, that's what we want to do. Okay, so we sometimes don't get ourselves into the good position to go strike a cricket ball, or don't get ourselves into the good position to bowl a ball on a line and a length consistently. So we'll spend a lot of time having a look at that and helping you guys through that. For me, the most important thing in batting is what position you're getting yourself into before the ball is bowled. Why? Because when you face the fastest bowlers in the world, you've got 0.3 seconds to play the shot. To think about what shot to play and then to execute. It's not a lot of time. 0.3 seconds. It's not a lot of time. So you better get yourself into a good position before the ball is bowled to be able to execute. You don't want to move too much after the ball is bowled. Your movements only want to be very small. You don't want to have to be making big movements once the ball leaves the bowler's hand. And you want to get yourself into a position where you can hit the ball leg side and offside, short and full, behind the wicket as well. These days, the best T20 players play what we call 360-degree cricket. You watch A.B. de Villiers, who's probably the most skilled batsman in the world at the moment. He can hit you anywhere on the field as a bowler. So where you do not put the fielder, he'll hit the ball there. And he premeditates it as well. He can do it before the ball's bowled. But the most important thing that he's doing is before the ball's bowled, he's in a great setup position and his head is dead still. And his bat is picked up, ready to go. So he sets himself early to then move from there. And we will spend a lot of time over the next 2 days having a look at your setup, so that we don't have to move too much from there. And let's remember, as I mentioned to you earlier, and we'll wrap it up there, we play the game of cricket to score runs, to take wickets, and to take catches and make run-outs on the field. That's why we play the game. We don't play the game to hit the ball nicely. We don't play the game to bowl a fancy outswinger. And we don't play the game to look pretty in the field. We've got to go make performances. I have to score runs. I've got to work out a way I can score runs. I've got to take wickets. I must take catches. I must hit the stumps. And we learn how to do that in the nets. And in our training. And in our practice. So if you want to be a great fielder like Jonty Rhodes, who for me is the best ground fielder I've ever seen in the modern game. The best ground fielder. You should have seen how he practiced. At the end of every session he had blood on both elbows because he wanted to dive. Every session he was diving to save the ball. Okay, so those are the kind of things that we've got to do, and we'll try and create as much fun around it as possible as well, because that's ultimately what we're here for, is to enjoy ourselves as much as we can. Okay, I think we're going to head down to the nets now. Does everyone know? Yaka, do we know how to? Kind of everyone know how to get there? Eh? Yeah. Paul? Yep. I think what we can do is we can all just kind of make our way down to the nets, and we'll We'll start.
Oh, then.
Yeah. Is that okay?
Listen, Gopal, do you want to take them on the bus? I could just organize it.
Maybe 2 slips. That's 6 fielders. And on the leg side, we have a fine leg, we have a mid-wicket, and we have a mid-on. That's 3 fielders. I want to hit the ball to where the fielders are. I don't want to hit the ball to where the fielders are. So what I'm trying to do as a player, I'm trying to say, how can I get myself into a position where I can hit away from the fielders? And that's why straight drive is such an important shot, because there are no fielders. Because mid-off, if I'm a left-hander, mid-off stands there and mid-on stands there. And you've just got bowler to beat. And it's a safe shot because you play with a full-on vertical bat. So if the ball bounces, the vertical bat controls it. The moment the bat goes horizontal, if the ball bounces, that's where we get ourselves into trouble. Does that make sense? Makes sense. And that's why the pull shot and the cut shots are great shots to play, but we only play them when the ball's really short. Why do we play them when the ball's really short?
You have time to think.
Good answer. You've got time. So now you can play a crossbat shot because you've got time, because the ball's down that way. You've got to move quickly because the quicker bowlers can nail you. But you've got time to play the crossbat shot at less risk the shorter the ball is. As soon as it gets a little bit fuller, we want the bat to be straight. Make sense? Except if we're slogging. Of course, then we've got to do something different. We've got to play like a baseball swing or something like that. Okay, so we've spoken a little bit about strengths. Okay, so my strength was I played the cut shot really well. I played a good cover drive. Okay, why don't we talk about what our weaknesses are? What are we not good at? Okay, so I'll tell you what I wasn't good at. I wasn't good at a ball that was coming in nice and straight at me, just on a length. So often guys would bowl very straight at me and I struggled to kind of tuck the ball in here and get the ball for 1. So when in professional cricket now you've got video analysis. So suddenly I lost the ability to be able to cut the ball because they didn't bowl wide to me anymore. They got everything in here. And I used to fall over a little bit, so it was always difficult for me to play that shot. So that was a weakness of mine. The short ball, I wasn't the best player of the short ball, but I played international cricket for 11 years, so I worked it out. But it wasn't a strength of mine, playing the short ball. But I learned how to not get out. Okay, so let's hear some weaknesses. What are the things you don't think you're that good at? Yes. You're not that good at the cut shot. So, does that mean you don't play the cut shot? Yeah. So I wasn't good at the pull shot. So in my game plan, I didn't really play it. You how old are you now? So you can learn how to play the cut shot still. But at least you know that it's not a strength of yours. Yes. The flick's not a strength of yours, okay? Yes. The short ball is not a strength. Okay, so we've got to remember now, when you start facing bowlers that start to know your game, they're not going to pitch your ball up. They're going to bowl short. How do we play it? And if you're going to make it as a cricketer at any level, if the bowler knows that you can't play the short ball, he's going to bowl a lot of short ball. So we've got to work out a technique to deal with it. Okay. Yes? Struggle with Yorkers, we all do, I think. It's not a weakness. I think it's a very difficult delivery to face, but does it bowl you? Are you getting out from it? Yeah, okay, so there is a way that we can learn how to deal with that as well. Yes, at the back.
The ball swinging away from the ball.
Okay, good one. Ball swinging away. Okay, does it get you out a lot?
Yes.
Okay, so let's remember that there's actually a way that you can deal with an outswinging delivery. Okay, it's not a strength of yours, you're getting out to it. So we've got to work out a way, maybe I can't score off that delivery, but I can not get out to it. Okay, so just remember in the next 2 days, that's something that we've got the coaches here, they'll give you some good thinking on how to deal with an outswinging ball. Especially if you bat up front with a new ball. Okay. Yes?
Playing balls with a straight bat.
So is your bat always at an angle?
Yeah.
Okay, so you get out a lot too?
Yeah, mostly.
Okay, so that's probably just a kind of a technical issue. Again, we can go into the nets and we can have a look and just see if there's something in your grip or your pickup or something that's causing you that to come at an angle. Probably sort it out very quickly because you're nice and young. Okay. Yes?